Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much today for joining us for our 7th QCC quarterly webinar. Today's session is entitled Getting Off Autopilot, New Ways to Enhance and Refresh Your Service. I know for many of you saying that these last couple of years has been taxing is a massive understatement. And at this point in time, many food service departments are operating on a feeling of autopilot, just trying to make it through each week or through each month or each day even. So this webinar has been inspired to shake you off of autopilot and give you some fresh ideas on scratch cooking, peer support, social media use, supply chain issues, breakfast in the classroom, policy updates, CalFresh outreach, and much more. My name is Robin Hernandez. I am the School Meals Access Manager for the No Kid Hungry California team, and I am going to be your moderator today. And we have an action-packed agenda, so let's move on to some housekeeping items before we begin. Next slide, please, Tommy. If you could, please just take a moment as you're joining us to add your name and organization to the chat so we can all see who's joining us today. If you encounter any type of technical difficulties, please use the chat box for help. You guys are in listen-only mode. If you have any questions, please enter those into the Q&A, and there will be also some Q&A available time at the end of the webinar. It's also being recorded and will be sent out to you along with the presentations after the webinar is complete. Next slide, please. This webinar has been brought to you by the Quad County Collaborative, which is a group of No Kid Hungry California team members, school food service directors, and the county nutrition coordinators from Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties. Next slide, please. And at this time, we'd like to actually hand it over to each of the coordinators so that they can get to know you guys and tell you some bullet points of updating and update you on some events that are happening in their county. So first, I'm going to pass it over to Kelly Warner. She is the nutrition county nutrition coordinator for the County of Los Angeles. Take it away, Kelly.
Thank you so much, Robin. Thanks everyone for being here today. My name is Kelly Warner. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a program manager at the LA County Department of Public Health in the Nutrition and Physical Activity Program. And I'm our county's CNAP coordinator. We have renamed our CNAP County Nutrition Action Partnership. We've renamed it to Nutrition Access LA to better reflect some of the work that we're doing. So one update I have to share, we have an upcoming webinar on Monday, February 14th in the afternoon. It's called CalFresh and WIC 101. It's Program Basics and Benefits Workshop. And you can register at the link there. I will also put it in the chat. If you're interested, the event is intended to be for community-based organizations, school districts, healthcare clinics, other kinds of CBOs who may be interested in learning more about food assistance programs, specifically CalFresh and WIC. The intent of this is to increase enrollment and participation. We know that this is one of the best tools we have to address food insecurity. So we've got WIC, the Department of Public Social Services, and the Office of Immigrant Affairs. And we'll also be including some materials that can be used to promote these programs. So thanks so much. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Robin Ronquez.
Okay, greetings from San Bernardino County. To celebrate National Nutrition Month, our CNAP in San Bernardino County is partnering with the City of Fontana for a story walk, which combines physical activity, nutrition, and literacy. It's scheduled for Saturday, March 12th at 8 a.m. at Miller Park Amphitheater in Fontana on Arrow Boulevard. If you're a community organization in San Bernardino County that would like to be part of this event, just contact me and I will put my email address in the chat in a bit. Secondly, in partnership with No Kid Hungry, there is a San Bernardino County CalFresh Outreach Challenge targeting school districts in San Bernardino County to add a CalFresh button to their school district website by March 14th, 2022. Participating school districts will be entered into a drawing for a No Kid Hungry swag and incentives. An announcement was sent and another reminder will be sent next week with details on the CalFresh Outreach Challenge. And last but not least, our next CNAP meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, May 18th from 9:30 to 11. And I have the opportunity to introduce my Orange County counterpart, Gina Osborne. So Gina, go ahead and continue.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Gina Osborne, and I'm a supervising public health nutritionist at the Orange County Healthcare Agency for the CalFresh Healthy Living Program, and I am the CNAP coordinator for Orange County. And I just have a few updates to share. The first is that we do have a food waste task force subcommittee, and we are in the midst of planning a food waste reduction month in April. And we're in the process of developing a social media guide and different activities to go along with that celebration, or not celebration, but promotion in April. We are also coordinating CalFresh outreach efforts with our local social services agency, the Fullerton School District, and the Orange County Department of Education. And our next meeting, our meetings are quarterly. Our next meeting is April 12th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And if you're interested in joining our CNAP meeting, I will put my email in the chat as well, or if you would like more information about our food waste task force. And so with that, next slide, please, Tommy. Andrea Morey, who is the CNAP coordinator for Riverside County, couldn't join us today, but she would like us to share that their next meeting is on May 5th at 10 a.m. via Zoom. And you can go ahead and send her an email if you'd like to join their meeting or their mailing list for updates. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Gina, and thank you to all of our CNAP coordinators. We'll go to the next slide, Tommy. And now, to keep you in the know, we have the one and only Dr. Betty Crocker. She wears many hats, two of which are as Director of Child Nutrition Services at Redlands Unified School District and as QCC co-chair. And she is here to give you some very important school nutrition policy updates. So take it away, Dr. B.
Rock and Robin, thank you so much. What a generous introduction. Thank you. So it is true. I am your Director of Child Nutrition Services here at Redlands. What a privilege it is to serve in the middle of the pandemic. So many opportunities to really influence policy. And so this is the year that I decided to lean into school nutrition. And I hope to inspire maybe 1, 2, or 200 of you to consider doing the same. I am serving right now as a Southern California policy co-chair. Next slide, please, Tommy. And so I'm the new kid on the block. I'm a new kid on the scene with all of the policy. And I wanted to break this down for you in terms of national, state, and then our Quad County Collaborative region of all 4 counties. Looking at the national level, how you become connected at the national level is through the School Nutrition Association. And I'm going to give you a bunch of links to follow when I am done here on the chat. So hang out for a moment with those. At the national level, it is important to know that we have a very critical deadline that has not been addressed by the USDA. All of our waivers end June 30th. Now, for those of us that do the summer meals program, July 1st, we are completely uncertain as to what is going to happen July 1st because USDA waivers are only going through June 30th. We have the addition, of course, 25-cent lunch addition. Thank you very much for that support. The challenge with that, of course, is that we serve 2 meals at minimum, breakfast and lunch for many districts. The School Nutrition Association, or SNA, has just released their position paper, and I'm going to show you that here in just a moment. And again, I'll give you some links on that. And I looked at their website today, and they have hashtag LAC is on. What does that mean? Legislative Action Conference. There are 2 of them for us. The first one is in Washington, D.C., and that is going on March 6th to 8th. If that is in your realm, you can still sign up for that. And this website is schoolnutrition.org. And then the other LAC is in Sacramento. So I'm going to flip down to my second universe of bullets here. How you get connected at the state level is through the California School Nutrition Association. And so what's going on in the state? Of course, probably many of us know in the school nutrition, I know that we know this, and I see there's a lot of community partners as well. We have universal meals that are beginning to be funded next year by the state of California. What does that mean? That means that the state meal mandate, right, the requirement for each school district is that we offer breakfast and lunch, or I should say, we always offer lunch, but all school districts will be required to offer breakfast as well in the school day. I learned yesterday too on the CDE listening series, and I'm going to give you a link for the CDE listening series as well. They've opened a really nice dialogue about once a month. They provide great information and access. And I saw Gurjeet posting too just on Tuesday about the state meal mandate also includes summer school. So all of this is happening as of July 1st is when our calendar year begins with all of this. So where's our advocacy focus at the state level? It's the same as it has always been, but now it's even more important, and your voice is critically needed. Our biggest advocacy focus is that state funding for the school nutrition program needs to be an entitlement program. Currently, it is not. And every year the state runs out of money, and all of us school nutrition directors and our colleagues, we're all managing that short funding. So that is the big push this year, as it has been in past years as well. With the balance of universal meals, it just becomes even more important. So LAC Sacramento, this is where I'm hoping to inspire 1, 2, or 200 of you to join me and all of your colleagues in Sacramento, March 27th through 28th. We're going to have the conference. You can pick this up at the calsna.org website. We definitely need you. Your voice is very much needed at the state level as we approach all of our legislators. It most likely will be virtually with our legislators, but we'll be in person with all of our Cal School Nutrition Association colleagues in Sacramento. It's super fluid. So if you have any questions on any of that, I'm going to share my email with you as well. And then the last is the QCC region. So in Southern California, we have the Southern California School Nutrition Association, or Chapter 1. And you'll see I have these logos here on the right. I kind of did them in reverse hierarchy order. And wow, what a great surprise this has been for me to really make a commitment in the middle of a crazy year to attend all of these chapter meetings. Anna currently is our president, and she just does a fabulous job of making sure that we have relevant content at all of these chapter meetings. This is also where on our website where you can get the legislative updates. And this is where I serve as your policy co-chair. And we have a website dedicated to the Chapter 1, which is Eat Smart to Be Smart. And this is where we're really doing the big push to inspire, again, 1, 2, or 200 of you to join us in Sacramento on March 27th. Tommy, would you go to the next slide, please? As promised, here's just a couple of slides. I broke up the SNA position paper. Rather than showing you the text, I decided to show you the infographic because it just makes a lot of sense. And so this is what we're going to march the hill with this information, sharing with our policymakers that 98% of the school meal programs are struggling with shortages of menu items. 97% of us are challenged with higher costs. Of course, I don't know why that's not 100%. I like to meet those 3% folks. And then 95% of the schools in our nation have staffing shortages. Next slide, please, Tommy. And then the last piece of that infographic, it goes into all of the things that we're going to, again, share with our legislators. Extend child nutrition waivers. Remember, those are ending June 30th, and that's a pretty big deal to be us in school nutrition. Provide more revenue for the school meals to cover the higher cost. Reduce menu planning complexities. Specifically, delay the target 2 sodium rules. Of course, in my world, I think they could delay those until our next lifetime. They're just super important that we get some flexibility on this. And then, of course, we're all about cutting the red tape. Next slide, please, Tommy. So that's my wrap. Thank you very much. And I'm going to head on down to chat now. And if you have any questions down in chat, you can find me there. And I'll also put my email. Rock and Robin, it is all back to you, girl.
Thank you so much, Dr. B. And thank you for helping us all better understand what is going on in regards to policies that affect child nutrition. You shared some great information about how nutrition folks can get involved at the federal level with the Legislative Action Conference, at LAC Sacramento Conference with SNA, and regionally with their chapter meetings or as policy co-chairs. So thank you so much, Betty. Next up, we have the Director of Nutrition Services for Riverside School District, Adliet, who's going to be sharing some tips for navigating school supply chain issues. So I'm going to pass it over to Adliet.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the invitation, and thank you for joining us to share with you what did Riverside do to navigate through supply chain. I would like first to talk a little bit about Riverside. Riverside Unified School District serve over 41,000 students. We have 47 school sites, and we have 4 contract sites. We're supposed to have 386 employees, but due to shortage of staff as well, we have 350 staff. Our budget is at 23 million. So far since August, we served a lot of meals, but not enough because our participation and enrollment been on the decrease. We served about 627,758 breakfasts, 2.2 million lunches, and 320,234 meals for supper. Our percentage of free and reduced so far is 75%. And I know a lot of the school district dealing with the same issue for supply chain issue. The first one we dealt with is discontinue items on our menus. We have the menu published, then all of a sudden there is no entrees that we can supply the school. And you know, some of you that we have angry parents, that's what's in the menu, but that's not what you having or offering the students. In addition, we have longer lead time. In normal year, our orders used to be submitted about 2-3 weeks ahead of time, and we'll receive it when we need it. And now it's taking much, much longer, and sometimes it's not there. In addition, higher cost, almost double, and some of them triple. Almost on every 2 weeks, there is price increase, which affected our budget as well. Pre-pandemic with COVID, our prices were fair, but now it's so high. When we receive deliveries, the items are not there, or we receive the deliveries, but we have partial of what we order. We order 500 cases of something, then we have 100, then we have to scramble looking for item to give the other school site that menu item or to replace it. Then we have other issue dealing with vendors. Some of our vendors said their work with the school district, it's not efficient anymore, so they cancel their contract with the school district. Then we had to make too many adjustments and too many changes for the meals that we offer our students. Then we had a lot of support from USDA. They provide us with flexibility, they provide us with waivers, and again, I hope they don't cancel them by the end of June. They provide us with the training, resources to the school nutrition as well as to the state itself, which provide us with certain flexibility, especially with the purchases in case of emergency. So we were available or able to go to different vendors. And I know talking with different child and nutrition directors, some of them went to Costco, some of them went to Sam's Club, some of them went to small or different small vendors to get the supply due to shortages that they have to deal with. And that was okay because we have the flexibility from USDA. For the procurement strategy, there is, which is procurement authority under CFR 200, which is provide the School Nutrition Association or administrative with the flexibility to conduct emergency non-comparative procurement, in which, again, we can go to different vendor, not our main distributor, to order different products. The same with the emergency, we have the waivers that we can substitute. And for ordering strategy, and I know previously we have to order mainly from our distributor. We've been able to order it through online. We've been able to order it through different vendor that they don't have contract with our distributor. Some of the tips we used to deal with the chain shortage and the supply shortage, we try to communicate with our food distributor. Instead of, for example, ordering 2 weeks ahead of time or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, now we've been placing our orders 8 weeks ahead of time. So to be able to have the item that especially the students like, and they will come to participate with us. Then we start working again, like mentioned, with policies, working with the state as well with the USDA to help us with the waivers, to help us with different issues. Some of the help they gave us is to serve the meal under the summer option, seamless summer option, which is gave us some help with the reimbursement. Instead of being with national school lunches lower, now we get higher reimbursement. We start to working with our co-op, because if some school district have an item, others don't, or they not use, we can work with the co-op to supply each other and help each other locating even items that we need. Then we start working with the menu as well by supplying or having menu that if we change a product, it will be more flexible and substitute friendly, such as if we have chicken salad, we can use turkey or ham salad instead, or sandwiches. In addition, we start working with scratch cooking. Previously, we walked away a little bit because everything has to be individually wrapped. And now we went back to implement more of the scratch cooking. We start using cycle menu. We have a standardized recipe as well. We start teaching a lot of our staff how to use at the sites the food guide pyramid, in which to help him with the portion size, to help him with the offer versus serve. We do the education, I promise you, on a yearly basis. Sometimes every cluster meeting done frequently, but we still have to go over this information again and again. Even with the scratch cooking and all the other stuff we did, we placed the orders ahead of time, as I mentioned, 8 weeks. But in addition, what we did, we have a big warehouse. We start ordering more of the available item. So when it comes on the menu next time, we have the supply instead of being scrambled, looking, calling, getting, an anxiety attacks because the item is not there. So we start implementing some of our storage area to have more of the supply. Then we, in addition, working with the state agencies with the waiver, with the menu planning, and some of the other supply shortages. In addition, we start communicating with our families when we have shortage. We start posting on the website that we've been having issue with the shortage of supply and meals and other items. We start posting that in our menus in social media. We start sending out mass emails or messages to tell the parents sorry that we having some difficulties. We've been substituting frequently, but that's what's the cause of our substitution and our menu change. In addition, sometimes, for example, our kids love certain items. We had some shortages with the chicken. Chicken patties used to be one of our kids' favorite. So if it's on the menu and we don't have it, we did a robocall to the family and to tell our families in a text and a call that the item is not there and we are offering different item. Our staff and in our nutrition department too start being creative. As all of us at Child Nutrition, we had shortage in different items, but that's helped us to be more creative. If you look at the picture, Some of the items we couldn't find, such as the bags for the hamburgers and the chicken patties and some of our hot items, we didn't have the foil. So we start being creative using the style of In and Out, but making our menu look like it's the style of In and Out style. In addition, they start looking what they have. We didn't have certain like packages to do our item. If it's not foil, we use the foil trays. If there is no other trays, we use what we call them Fresh Express item. And we use the clamshell to be able to serve the menu because they didn't have trays. So we tried to be creative to offer him something instead of what they used to, and that wasn't available. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adliet, for sharing all of Riverside's creative strategies for navigating supply chain challenges. I noticed a big theme in your presentation about reaching out for help from vendors and state agencies and co-ops and using local resources, along with stressing importance of communication to families. And absolutely love the pictures. Necessity is indeed the mother of invention. So thank you for showing us all the great things you're doing in Riverside. With that, we're going to pass it over to Michel Quirce, who is the Nutrition Services Director at Eastside Union School District. And she's going to talk a little bit about operating breakfast in the classroom despite pandemic challenges. So go ahead and take it away, Michel.
Thank you so much, Robin. Good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to share some of the tips that we've been doing in our school district. Next slide, please. So just a little bit of information about us. We have 5 elementary schools and 1 middle school. We have an enrollment of 3,228. We're 68% free and reduced. We have CEP at all school sites. We serve breakfast, lunch, supper, and snack. And we have breakfast in the classroom at all of our school sites. For our breakfast in the classroom, with our procedures, we have our wagons in an assigned area in the cafeteria. We have students that they like to be called wagon masters, or we give them cute creative names. And these students are assigned to pick up and drop off the wagons in the cafeteria. Each wagon contains 2 coolers. We have one for hot items and one for cold. We have sanitizing wipes, we have a towel roll, utensils, and a folder. And the folder contains the meal count rosters, a step-by-step procedure on what to do for breakfast in the classroom. And we have a list of students with our allergies. So we noticed that to get a buy-in from our students, and we had to be creative with their names and our staff and even the teachers. They really love the idea of being able to work with the students and being able to have that extra help from them. And then students enjoy being involved as well in the process. So some of the updates that we did to breakfast in the classroom, we were using thermal bags before. And so we noticed that we had a lot of spills. Our staff would tell us that they were a little difficult to clean, to sanitize. And so with the pandemic, we started looking for ways to maybe make it easier for our staff, but also maintain the desired temperatures for a longer time. So we noticed that with coolers, they're easier to clean and sanitize. And we also noticed that they're more durable. With our bags, they had to be replaced constantly. The zipper would get stuck, or we just had a lot of, just issues with the bags. So we decided to try the coolers. And we asked our teachers what they thought, if they liked it. So our biggest thing always with breakfast in the classroom has been getting our teachers involved, our staff, our principals, when they have questions, when they need help. That's something that we noticed whenever we needed to implement a change or do something, we always count with their support and with their feedback. We appreciate their feedback all the time, and we're consistently looking for ways to improve. So this is something that we did that worked for us. In addition to that, we took advantage of the outdoor seating areas. So we featured new items. We asked our students what they liked. I do agree with Adliet with the supply chain shortages. We experienced the same thing. So what we did was we tried to look for other items that we could replace. We asked our students for feedback. We provided additional training and monitoring, and we emphasized hand washing, cleaning, and sanitizing, especially during the pandemic. I think that was really a really big concern, was the cleaning and the sanitizing. So we really made it a point to emphasize that part. And what we did with the monitoring and the feedback, basically we went classroom to classroom and actually had those one-on-one conversations with our teachers. And I feel like that was a great help. That was a great way to get their buy-in, was asking them, how can we support you? How can we help you? Is there anything that you need from us? Is there anything that would facilitate this? And so just asking those questions and having the teachers being aware of that, it really helped a lot with continuing breakfast in the classroom. This is something that our district has done for a while. So when the pandemic happened, it really helped with that. It helped get their buy-in, it helped with the feedback. It helped a lot tremendously having those conversations with them and having them feel that we were there to support them and they were instrumental, to feed our kids. Breakfast was definitely something that we needed in our community. It was something that our teachers knew that our students need that. This is something, it wasn't an option for us. It was something that they need part of their day. So I think that helped a lot as well. Next slide, please. So with that, I just wanted to finish by saying with breakfast in the classroom, if I can give you anything that you can take away from the presentation, it's definitely that when you have your staff involved and when you have your children involved and teachers, everyone that's involved in the process, it really helps a lot for that buy-in. I know that's one of the biggest concerns, is obtaining that buy-in from your staff, from teachers, from administrators. Anywhere you have to have those conversations and meetings and trainings, and it's a constant thing. It's definitely something never ending. So there's my phone number and my email. If you have any questions, you can always reach me and I'll be glad to answer any questions. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for your tips on implementing successful BIC program. I heard you talking about outdoor seating areas, and especially impressed by the fact that you guys were able to conduct those one-on-one conversations with teachers. So thank you so much. With that, we're going to pivot now to some updates, some No Kid Hungry updates, and CalFresh information. So this is a joint presentation. We're going to start first with Ariana Michael, the Deputy Director from San Bernardino County Transitional Assistance Department, followed by Daisy Munguia-Pinon, the Associate Director of No Kid Hungry. So go ahead and take it away, Ariana.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for all the information that's being shared. Like every great collaboration starts with the sharing of information. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be talking a little bit about what's been going on in San Bernardino County, the Transitional Assistance Department, and some things that may be affecting us in California in general. So accessibility to CalFresh is very important. And we can just change the slide, please. Thank you. So ways in which we can apply for CalFresh. Benefits Cal is a new application portal in San Bernardino County. And again, sharing of the information is the first step in a great collaboration. So in September of 2022, so last year, we migrated into Benefits Cal, and then one system called CalSouth. So I'll talk a little bit more about that. Again, going back to the accessibility of CalFresh application, our constituents can apply internet, by phone, mail, in person, but there's nothing better than online from home. This particular application or website, you can actually access it from your phone as well. So just want to share that information. On the next slide, it goes a little bit of background as far as what's happening in the Can we change the slide? Thank you. So what's going to happen in California in the next couple of years? So we are moving into a one system solution. Like I mentioned, it's called CalSAWS. It is a new online portal. Along with the new online portal, it benefits Cal. So we're currently going through the migration stages. Right now, we have 39 counties utilizing Benefits Cal as the application platform. It includes San Bernardino County and Riverside County. This, like I mentioned, happened in September of last year. Currently, LA County is using Your Benefits Now, but they're scheduled to migrate pretty soon in March 14th into the Benefits Cal platform. The Calwin, what we call the Calwin counties, which includes San Diego, Orange County, and Ventura, are using My Benefits Calwin. But by the end, by 2023, all of California will be on Benefits Cal. So this is great news for constituents, because regardless of the county of residency, they'll be able to apply for their CalFresh benefits. And then access their application share of information. So on the next slide, you'll be able to see what the website looks like. This is actually the homepage and what all of the DPSSs, or what we call Transitional Assistance Department in San Bernardino County, our constituents will be able to go into this website and apply not only for CalFresh, but also for CalWorks, Medi-Cal, CAPI, and a lot of the different programs that we administered. Thank you. So these are some of the things that our constituents currently are able to do for those counties that are currently in the Benefits Cal platform. They're able to report changes from the comfort of their own home, so they don't necessarily have to come to one of our offices or even call our call center. They're able to submit their reevaluations or recertifications that are part of the requirement in order to continue eligibility with the program. They would request their benefits identification card, or the electronic benefits card, or what we call as EBT, through this website, message with their eligibility worker, receive notifications, request appointments, and just overall manage their account, similar as if they were managing their bank account. This website also has 3 different threshold languages, which is great, right, for our constituents. In order to help our community transition over into this new platform, we have to come up with ways in which we can educate them and have them get comfortable with this change for themselves. So on the next slide, you'll be able to see a YouTube website. So they actually created a Benefits Cal YouTube channel where our constituents are able to go into these websites and select the different navigation process within the website, again, to help with that transition, going into having to go into 2 or 3 different platforms throughout the different counties, into what platform, and then getting comfortable with the new website and what they can do within this website. The YouTube video also includes a community-based organization how-to video. So for our CBOs that want to create their account and then complete applications for our constituents, they can do so. The website is very user-friendly and simple, very simple to complete an application. So again, the sharing of information was very important, and we're gonna, Daisy's gonna touch a little bit on what our collaboration and what we've been doing in San Bernardino County. And it started with this. It started with the sharing of information and what was currently happening in TAD, what was currently happening in the local schools, throughout the pandemic. And then also, of course, No Kid Hungry and how they can better help us and support. What we created is actually a toolkit that was tailored towards our San Bernardino County residents, our local San Bernardino County school districts and schools. We created the toolkit, which Daisy is actually going to show shortly. They not only have it posted on their website, but we also, as part of our collaboration and partnership, have it available in our website for anybody to access and take a look to see what this toolkit can provide. That is all I have. And then so Daisy's actually going to take over now.
Thank you, Ariana. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Daisy Munguia-Pinon. For those that may not know me, my pronouns are she, her, and ella. So welcome. Ariana did a very deep dive on the new system for Benefits Cal. So now I want to switch gears and talk about strategies to increase CalFresh enrollment for children. As we're looking through different counties throughout Southern California, we are really looking at a gap. And there's a huge opportunity for school districts, charter schools, private schools to play a more active role in increasing CalFresh enrollment for kids. Next slide, please. So the first thing I want to, focus on is explaining, the gap. Here are 3 different programs. We have CalFresh, Medi-Cal, and students that qualify for free and reduced price meals. These 4 programs have pretty similar income eligibility. For CalFresh, it's a little bit over $34,000. For Medi-Cal, it's a little over $36,000. And for a family of 4 to qualify for free reduced price meals, it's a little over $34,000. So the income eligibility for a family of 4 is very similar. But what I'm going to show you in the next slide is that there is a huge gap when it comes to enrollment in CalFresh. Next slide. So if you look at here, here's an example from San Diego. And this shows you the number of children enrolled in CalFresh compared to Medi-Cal, compared to free and reduced price meals. There is a huge gap. And I want us to really think about, what can we do now to close that gap and how we can use programs like maybe people who are Medi-Cal or students who qualify for free and reduced price meals, how we can work together to close that gap. Next slide. So the very first step that you can do is extremely simple. It doesn't cost you a lot of money in your budget, is uploading the CalFresh application link to your website. So under SB 708, it's actually mandated that if you have your meal application website, your meal application on your school website, then you also have to have the online application to CalFresh. This bill went into effect in 2016, so it's been around for a very long time. And I think it's a great way to think about equity, accessibility, and making sure that not only your meal application be on your school website, but also the CalFresh link. It's extremely easy to do, and it's a great first step in order to create more program awareness around CalFresh. I want to share, with the help of, the CNAP coordinators, San Diego Hong Coalition, the Orange County Ed Office, we did an analysis here in Southern California. And we looked at the school websites for Riverside, Orange County, San Diego, and San Bernardino. All in, those school districts have there's a total of 128 school districts in those counties, 128. This does include county ed offices, but it does not include any charter schools. Out of those 128 for those 4 counties, and we're about to do analysis for LA, how many school districts do you think have the CalFresh link on their website? You could put in the chat, you could take a guess, of what you think the number is, but all in, there's 128. So let me see, put in the chat whatever you think that number might be. How many school districts out of 128? And this is for San Diego, for Riverside, for Orange County, and San Bernardino. And we're hoping pretty soon, with the help of Kelly from CNAP, that we have an analysis for LA County. So that's coming really soon. The number is 14. 14 school districts. To me, that's really low. And I think we could definitely put a goal to ourselves to change that. So I definitely encourage you, we're going to show the link to the toolkit to talk to your IT person to make sure that you're getting the website link onto your website. So I'm going to show you an example of how easy this is to do. Next slide. So here's Rialto, and Rialto attended our San Bernardino County webinar about CalFresh awareness, and they used our toolkit to do this very simple change. They added the CalFresh icon, as you can see, to their nutrition website. And once someone clicks the CalFresh icon, next slide, it takes them to another page. And in this page, there is, a short blurb of what CalFresh is. It's both in English and Spanish on their website. They have the website link where families can go in and fill out the application. And they even have 211, an additional resource families can use to get information with their CalFresh application. This is a very easy example of how you can also do that within your own school district. Next slide. Another bill that's been around for a while is AB 402. And a lot of people do not know that, how this bill works or are aware that this bill even exists. So in this bill, a LEA, charter school, private school, school district can enter into an MOU or partner agreement with the County Department of Social Services and make sure that we can use the MIA application as a way for a parent to consent that they want to get more information on CalFresh. So this bill basically says, right now districts work with the county office to get direct certification for CEP, which is great. We're already working together, but this is taking a different route. This is really helping the county offices of social services do more outreach or CalFresh based on income eligibility. So I'm going to put a link on the chat that has the letter from the state that gives directions on how this partner agreement should look like. It gives examples of the parent consent form, and it can be very simple of adding that little square box onto your meal application or adding a separate letter explaining it. And remember, there's a gap between students who qualify for free and reduced price meals who may also qualify, that might be eligible for CalFresh. This is a great step to close that gap. Parents will check off, sign off. Yeah, if based on my income eligibility, my child might qualify for CalFresh, I'm okay with someone reaching out to me. So what we're aware of, there's not one school district doing this in the state. Again, this bill's been around, I think also since 2016. So let's do it. Let's do a new partnership. Let's think outside the box and see how we can, increase enrollment this way. I also want to flag that we are trying to, with Schools for All. Sorry, my dog. I do want to flag that that we're trying to update these bills that have the wording about MIA applications and have them be updated to also include alternative income forms. Since we know under School Meals for All, a lot of school districts will be going under CEP and may not be using the application. So our hope is we're going to advocate to also have these two bills updated to not only include MIA applications, but also alternative income forms in the future. So stay tuned for that. Next slide. And thank you for your patience with my dogs. I lastly want to share some really cool Nook and Hungry resources that you can use, and you can find those on our state website, which is right there for you. Next slide. The first one is the toolkit. So far, we have a toolkit for San Bernardino, and we also have one for San Diego uploaded on our website. We're hoping to have one for OC, Riverside, and LA coming really soon. Our toolkits have scripts you can use, social media, language, letters to parents, and it has instructions also on how to update your school website with the CalFresh link. It has a step-by-step process for you. We're also trying to include a list of either the offices of social services within your county, and then maybe a list of nonprofits, of community-based organizations that can also help you with CalFresh outreach. So San Diego and Riverside, San Diego and San Bernardino are already up. And then we're also have coming very soon, we're gonna have a lot of graphics on our website in over 13 different languages that you can use for Facebook, for Instagram, for Twitter, whatever you think to just, again, create more awareness and more buzz around this program. Next slide. All right, CalFresh grants. So We have another great opportunity as well for any school districts and community-based organizations. We have an opportunity for CalFresh grants. These grants are focused on CalFresh enrollment for children. We understand seniors and adults, it's extremely important, college students is extremely important, but the focus of these grants are to increase CalFresh enrollment for kids. It's open to all Southern California counties. We want to see like a school-based strategy, and the deadline for these are March 14th or May 31st. And we will be giving priority to school districts who apply by the March 14th deadline. Be creative, be innovative. We're open to anything. The average grant size is $5,000, but it might be more, it might be less. So just contact us, any No Kid Hungry program manager, and we'll give you the RFP. So next slide. And lastly, we have the CalFresh Challenge that's happening in San Bernardino, Riverside, and San Diego, and will be coming soon to OC and LA. So we want to encourage school districts to add the CalFresh application link. And when you do so, 3 districts from each county are going to win $500. These $500 can go to whatever you want. Help with staff capacity and morale, breakfast, lunch, t-shirts, a new coffee machine for your office, whatever you want to do. And we know that your nutrition budgets have a lot of limits, so these $400 can go to whatever you want, and we're going to include a lot of cool No Kid Hungry swag. So if you're a school district, a charter school, a private school who has updated your school website, please let your CNAP coordinator know so we can go ahead and enter you into the raffle. And those are all my updates. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Daisy and Ariana, for helping us all understand the importance of CalFresh outreach. It really is a win-win for nutrition departments, districts, and families. So I hope all of the school nutrition departments on the call take the challenge and put a CalFresh button on their websites, because we can do better than 14 SoCal. I know we can. So let's bring it and have everybody get those buttons on their website. At this time, we are going to give you a stretch break. So Tommy's going to cue up some tunes for you, and you can get up, get a drink of water, stretch, or get the wiggles out, dance for a minute. Just don't sit in your chair. We're going to return in. I'll give you a we'll give you a 3-minute break, and come back at 2:56, and we are going to hear from Brendan Shields at Magnolia School District for Making Connections: Pathways to Peer Support and Scratch Cooking. So stay tuned. Director of Food Services. He's going to be talking to us today about pathways to peer support and scratch cooking. So take it away, Brendan.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Wow, tough to follow Rhythm Nation. I don't know, I'll do my best to keep it going, but that's a tough one to follow. My name is Brendan Shields. Before I jump too far into the presentation, I just kind of wanted to talk about, first of all, the importance of peer support. I started in school food service back in 2008 at Centralia School District, which is a small elementary school district right next door to us. And I definitely needed the peer support. I was lost. I came from hotels and restaurants, and coming into the school food industry was overwhelming. So many rules, so many things to follow, and it was tough. So I needed the support. And luckily, if we can go to the next slide, there is a group that we have here in Orange County. It's the Orange County Food Service Directors and Supervisors Group. Let me be clear, I did not start this group. This group was in place long before I came along, and it'll be in place long before I'm gone, I'm sure. But really, it's just right now, it's a group of approximately 50 child nutrition supervisors and directors throughout Orange County. We have a very strong support system. We also have a liaison with the county health department. So we're able to, when we have questions about health department violations or health department rules or anything changing, we have that one source to go to where we can just get all that information communicated to us and what applies to schools. We also sit on the food service advisory, the Food Safety Advisory Council for the county. So we also have input on, or we can hear firsthand what's going on and what the updates are with Orange County Health Department. One of the greatest things we have too for Orange County for supporting each other is something so simple is our email threads that go on and off. And so whenever we have that question, and it's not really something we're getting, what is the rule, what is the law? It's kind of like, what is everybody doing? How how is everyone managing when the pandemic started? How is everyone managing grab and go meals? What's everyone doing? And so this email goes out to all, approximately 50 of these leaders, and we get all these responses back, and you just get a flood of ideas and support, and just knowing that you're not alone going through all the things that you're going through as a food service director, as a child nutrition leader. We do meet 4 times a year also. Usually those meetings are in person, but lately they've been on Zoom, which is it still works, but it's just not the same of being able to see everybody. But we definitely find a way to make it work. And one of the important things we try to do with our meetings and our email threads is we make it a vendor-free zone. We know our vendors are our partners, and we do work with them as much as possible. But we do like to provide a forum for all the directors and supervisors where we can pretty much be open and honest about everything that's going on, and just discuss things freely without having to worry about, being sold on anything or anything like that. So it really is a good group. And if you don't have this support where you are, wherever you are, if you don't have the county or whatever it might be, have someone that is another child nutrition leader that you can reach out to and call at any time. I have a couple that I know I can always call whenever I need to call, whenever I have something I need to chat about or get ideas from. And so even if you don't have this big county group or anything like that, have somebody to reach out to, because you do need that time where you know that you are not on your own and you have the support. All right, next slide, please. So now I'm going to jump into scratch cooking. Scratch cooking is something that's really exciting for us here in the Magnolia School District. I started it back when I was in the Centralia School District prior to coming over here. A little bit about the Magnolia School District. We are 9 elementary school districts, K through 6, a little over 5,000 enrollment. Something really cool that we have here is we have 9 full service kitchens, all the equipment we need in each kitchen at every site to do what we need to do to provide freshly prepared meals. We don't have a central kitchen. We do have a central warehouse with a freezer where we can get some products in. And we are a community eligibility provision district. So district-wide, we are CEP. So the universal meals is nothing new to us. It's something we've been doing for years here. I've been here in the Magnolia School District for about 3 years. I came over here from Centralia because I really couldn't miss out on the opportunity of coming home. This is where I went to school as a student. Little did I know when I was a student helper in 5th and 6th grade at one of the schools that I'd be coming back as a grown-up and running the whole program. So it's really exciting to be back in my home district where I grew up. My daughter is a student in this district, and even another kicker is my wife is a teacher in the district. So this truly is home for me. And so I'm just here to do whatever I can for this district because I really do care about the community and the students and the families that we serve. So a little bit about our staffing. We have 9 managers, 9 assistant managers. Those are both full-time positions. We have 30 food service assistants across the district. We have a food service specialist that helps out support in the office. And we have 1 district-wide programs manager, which helps with our after-school programs, our supper programs, and also provides additional support throughout the day. Next slide, please. So a lot of people wonder with scratch cooking, what does your food cost look like? What does your labor cost look like? Labor cost is high. It really is with scratch cooking. That's the way it goes, but it does bring the food cost down a little bit. Food and supply costs are at 25% right now. That could change fairly quickly. Labor and benefits, we're at 58% right now. And that will likely go up as well because we do have a raise coming along the way for the district. So that's going to go up about 3%. But the labor is there for us to be able to provide these services for our students. So we want to do everything we can to cook for them and use our own staff to put everything together. Why do we scratch cook? Really, it came out of almost necessity, determination, and frustration. We were starting to do it prior to the pandemic. And then when the pandemic hit, we kind of just had to stop everything. But then when we all started coming back and experienced issues with getting products in and sourcing ingredients and sourcing products, we just couldn't do it. And when you scratch cook, you're looking for ingredients, you're not looking for products. So the vendors that you can purchase from, the doors open up so much more when you're looking for ingredients instead of products. You're looking for cheese, you're looking for flour, you're looking for salt, you're looking for seasonings, you're looking for products that are widely available everywhere. Because at the end of the day, we don't have that option. When we get a delivery and they say you're short items, no substitutions, we can't turn around and do that for our students. Those last 30 kids that come through the line, we can't say, sorry guys, we're shorted, no substitutions, no food for you today. We have to make it work. And that's why our team here is really determined to figure out how we can provide meals for our students consistently. The quality of the food is better. And again, you're using your own labor. You're not sourcing your labor to a processor across the country where they're putting things together for you. You're doing it all in-house. You have control over your menus, your ingredients, your nutrition analysis. If anything is off or the sodium seems high, you can always adjust your recipe to adjust it for the week to make sure everything's correct. Next slide, please. So some of the challenges we have is number one, equipment. Not every kitchen right now has the same type of equipment. Some have kettles, some have braising pans, some don't have anything. Some just have stoves where they have to make everything on. The training, the skill level of the staff is all different across the board. So some are very highly skilled in culinary arts and training, and some cook at home and that's about it. But every little bit helps and we're always able to make it work. The efficiency, some are able to cook faster than others, some are able to work quicker than others. So it's really about rearranging the staff and the team to make sure you have a balance of what you need at every site. Storage can definitely be a challenge. Bringing in more fresh products, we need to be able to have that flexibility of now we're using more refrigerator space than we are freezer space because we're not getting a lot of frozen products in. And most importantly is the consistency. When you have 9 kitchens doing the same recipe, you tend to get 9 different results. And I'll go to the next slide here and kind of go over the basics of what our macaroni and cheese process is. So the cheese process is very basic. You see in the upper side there, we have basic ingredients, things you don't have to give a 6-week lead time to get in and it possibly won't come in. These are things you can get fairly readily available from your dairy vendor or even just a regular broadline distributor. Cheese, milk, butter, flour, salt, pepper. That is the basis of the mac and cheese. And basically what we're doing is we're making just a basic white sauce, a bechamel, which is very simple to do. Mix the butter and the flour together, you add the milk, and you keep doing it until you get what they call the nappe, which is that thickness that's just right to where you can get a clean break off the back of a spatula so you have that clean line on there. This was the hardest part to do at 9 different kitchens, was for staff to be able to identify when that perfect point is, when the sauce is just thick enough to start adding the cheese. And I think that was the biggest challenge for a lot of us, but after a couple cycles, they got it. We have professional chefs now in all of our kitchens, and I'm so proud of this team. They've done such an incredible job in doing these recipes. And then you add the cheese. We have a big immersion blender that goes in just to help blend the cheese a little better. Next slide, please. And then when it's all done, you get just beautiful cheese sauce. Throw in your cooked macaroni noodles, and you're good to go. Now, from that basic white sauce, you could do a Parmesan and mozzarella and have an Alfredo sauce if you wanted to. There's all kinds of options you can do. We also take this cheese sauce and we add seasoned ground beef to it, and we have basically like a queso dip. So we have several different menu items off of this simple recipe. Like I said, it takes a little bit of finesse, but it definitely is worth the payoff when it's all said and done. Next slide, please. So before the end of it, just another reminder, you are not on this journey alone. My contact information will be at the end of the slide. If you really need someone to call and talk to for support, I'm here. When it comes to scratch cooking, just remember ingredients are more widely available than products, so it's worth it to take the jump. And if you do decide to take the jump, start small. 1 recipe, 1 day a month, maybe at 1 site, see how it goes and just grow from there. I know everyone's kitchens are different and not everyone has the facilities, but that's my advice, is start really small, don't overwhelm yourself, and then you'll get there. Next slide. And that's it. Here's my contact information. Feel free to reach out. If you want to learn more about scratch cooking, you can send your staff to visit our sites. We'll be happy to help in any way. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you so much, Brendan. I think you followed Janet Jackson perfectly. So we appreciate it. And I hope, I really do hope people take advantage of your knowledge of scratch cooking and reach out to you. You made a lot of great points about how finding ingredients can be easier than finding items, and how scratch cooking can really allow for a lot more control in this whole crazy process that is school food nutrition. So thank you again. At this time, we are going to move to our dynamic duo from Rialto. We have Christina Krauser, the program innovator of child nutrition, and Fasat Raman Davies, the lead child nutrition agent, both from Rialto Unified School District, and they are here to talk to you about marketing innovations for school nutrition programs.
Ready? Okay, I made it. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Fasat Raman Davies, the lead child nutrition agent for Raya and Rialto Village. Basically, I'm just a director. So Rialto would like to be innovative and call all these names, like I have a program innovator. Just to give you a quick start about our program, we have about 25,000 student enrollment right here in Rialto, 29 school sites. We're a school-wide district CEP. During the pandemic, I went for the super program for all my school sites. We expanded breakfast in classroom. Right now, we have 19 elementary school in breakfast in classroom, 2 high school in breakfast in classroom. And so we hopefully by the end of this year to have all our schools on breakfast in classroom. That's our goals. Okay, now let's go. Why social media? Social media is really a great way to connect and communicate.
Can we go ahead and proceed forward with the slides? And then the next one, please. Thank you. Okay.
Talking about social media, this is really a good way for us to connect with our family, to reach the student and parent, also our community. But what we find by doing this, we go on live and people ask questions, and it's kind of like engagement. It's like they're right there with you, they're with your stories, running the story with you, knowing what's going on in the community, what's going on, whether it's crash cooking, whether it's not so crash cooking. And this is really very engaging because then they see actually what's going on, and then they become part of the village. I say you guys are part of my village. Also, like I run in here, I'm going to kind of pass it to Christina because they're calling me up there for meetings here, meeting there. So I'm going to give it to my one and only awesome Miss Christina to take over from here. It's nice seeing you guys. Take it over, Christina.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Fasat. If we can go to the next slide, please. So where do you start when you're looking to do a social media program for your department? You want to create a brand. Many of us know brands such as like Starbucks or Taco Bell, and that's the things that the kids identify with is their logos. And so what we've done is we do have, of course, our district logo, but we created, and this was under direction from Dr. Avila. He wanted everybody to kind of brand themselves. And so we created our own brand. And so on everything we do, we have the hands with the hearts, and we have our kids. And we do update this every few years as we want to make sure that our pictures are relevant. All the pictures that we utilize are our students. All of our food and marketing, it's ours. You want to be able to present your products and services. You want to do it and be creative. So you want it to be realistic, but just like any other food establishment, they want to be able to show you what those items would look like. And this has been really successful for us, especially with things that are being prepackaged all the time. We set things up on the trays to show them that this is legitimately the items that kids are getting. We're just presenting it in a different way. And then who do you want to communicate most with? Pick your target audience. For us, we engage everybody, but it just depends on what platform you're on. And we'll discuss that here in a little bit. But, we definitely wanted to be able to engage our parents because they're not in our cafeterias. Next slide, please. So here's some examples of branding. The only one I don't have on there is our CalFresh, but of course you want to make sure you have that on your website. But your marketing helps create that emotional connection to your community. Next slide, please. So selecting your platform. For us, our platforms that we utilize, we have Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We also do have a TikTok. That's a new, we have not done much with that one, but that one is developing and coming along. And we do have YouTube as well. But your Instagram, it's basically, it's like a photo book. You're telling a story with pictures. You do have the ability to go live. One of my favorite features is I could post things on Instagram and that will automatically connect to our Facebook account, and they look the same. So it eliminates me having to do double work. And then your Twitter is an active news feed. It updates frequently, and it also allows for you to create, to connect with federal and state agencies, such as like the CDE or the USDA. As they told us, that's where they look frequently. Next slide, please. So examples of how to use your social media. How are you going to tell your story? Our story, we want them to see us in production. We want them to see our food, and we want them to see the kids. And of course, you want to make sure that you're showing your scholars, for those who you have permission for. And if you get some really great images, make sure you get those so the media releases signed, because when you're sharing things with the USDA, they won't share pictures of your scholars unless you have those media releases. Next slide, please. Quick video here. So this is one of the videos that we threw together very quickly. It is showing our first day of breakfast in the classroom at Trapp Elementary. And you want to make sure that when you are making these videos and you're taking pictures and you're putting things on social media, that you're diverse with your pictures. You want to show all of your scholars, but not just like all the girls or all the boys. And you want to make sure that you're best representing your community. But this video we posted on social media to show our families how successful breakfast in the classroom can be for their kids. Trapp Elementary, I believe it was like they were serving somewhere in the low 80s for breakfast on a regular breakfast service. They went up to in the high 400s on the first day of service, which was nearly all of their student population. Next slide, please. This is some other program information that we put on our social media. Last night, we had a fantastic charcuterie board class, thanks to our friends at CalFresh, San Bernardino, sorry guys, San Bernardino County, Superintendent of Schools, and then some of the marketing and stuff that we've done with our new Keystone Cafe food pantry that was started this year. Next slide, please. So when you're starting to do your social media posts, you want to do things that are creative and engaging for your family. So not just like videos, and it might be something new to you. So you definitely don't want to go out and spend money and buy all this stuff because it works for somebody else, because it might not work for you. So you know what, check some things out, test out the free trials. And then you want to check, are you going to be reimbursed for things you're purchasing? If it's something you're purchasing for yourself and you're going to use it for your department, well, then I guess that's your prerogative. We've written things into grants as part of our marketing so that it will pay for things. You can also speak to your district and see if it's something that they've already purchased that you're able to utilize. Our favorite to use is Canva. Hands down, we can do so much stuff with it. We actually made this presentation in Canva. We just love Canva. And Pick, Post, Play and Giphy are both phone apps. And so if we're on the run, we can do stuff that way. And Poster My Wall is a lot of fun too. So, just kind of have fun with it and then entice your audience with some really stunning visuals. Next slide, please. So how to be successful? Like with anything in life, you want to make sure you kind of have some kind of organization, establish a schedule. Canva has a great process where you can actually schedule things in advance. So if you're going to be going on vacation, you can put things in there and it will post it for you. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you're answering questions promptly on your social media. This really is the smallest thing, but it goes miles with the families and stuff that are asking you questions about the program or maybe about the post. It's like, we get a lot of questions like they had no idea this was school food service and what it looked like. And then it also, that provides another level of interaction for your followers. And embrace the challenging remarks that are not so positive. Sometimes those big critics can help make the biggest positive changes in your program. We do get some comments that, you know what, they're just better left alone. Like you don't acknowledge them. And, I think there's been once or twice over the last several years, we've had to just hide the comment. And that happens, but you will kind of navigate your way. But if you really reach out to those kind of naysayers about the comment, about the program and what they're asking about, maybe it's about whole grains, or maybe it's just something that, we deem as petty, but they apparently found it was big enough deal to say something. Message them so everybody can see you're answering them, and provide them with a phone number so that they can now call the office and you guys can have an actual conversation. Next slide, please. So promote, be creative, be equitable and diverse in your advertising, and make connections with your followers. Make sure you're representing your population. Get ideas from other districts, follow other people on Instagram. I think hands down, Instagram is probably our favorite. But, kind of look around and see, how are other people representing the food community? You can post things like nutrition education, maybe service pictures, creative fun days at school, and just staff. Post your staff. One of the pictures up there is on our Green Eggs and a Ham Day from last year. The kid, all of our kitchens dressed something Dr. Seuss, and they had a contest amongst themselves, and we had a great time doing that. And then we read to the students. So our interactions with our students, we like to post and show the families that we're not just the cafeteria. Next slide, please.
Go. Go. Yatta-da-da-da-da-da, we're all excited today. So come and get your pizza, say hooray, hooray!
We all love Mr. Howard. Mr. Howard is so famous amongst our kids at Boyd Elementary. He sings nearly on a daily basis and makes up his own little songs based on whatever it is that we are serving. We had a No Kid Hungry documentary that we were very privileged to be part of. And Mr. Howard is now known as the Teriyaki Chicken Man. So, because he sang about teriyaki chicken that day. But Fawcett has a remarkable skill for honing in on our individual talents. And that's not just of her A team, which is our supervisors, but also of the custodial staff, her nutrition workers at all levels. And, Mr. Howard is a server, but he's not just a server. He has a direct line with our kids and our families. And so we thought that was important, and we put him on social media, and it was a really good time. Next slide, please. So big takeaways. Have some fun. The more you experiment with the features, the more you'll learn, and ask others for input. Sometimes, if I'm creating something or one of the other girls is creating something, we think it looks fantastic. You might bring it to the table and everybody goes, like something needs to be changed. Embrace the constructive criticism and look at it through a new lens, and that will help make your marketing so much better. Next slide, please. So again, this is our lead child nutrition agent, Ms. Fawcett Rahman Davies, and I'm Christina Croucher, the program innovator, the fabulous people in orange. That is Fawcett's A team, and thank you for tuning in about marketing today. If there's any questions, we'd be happy to answer them for you.
Thank you so much, Fawcett and Christina, for an amazing presentation. I encourage everybody on the call to please go to their social media feeds and check out all of their amazing posts. I've had so much fun scrolling through your videos of your gardens. You guys really do know how to do social media and marketing right. So thank you for bringing all of those wonderful tips to us. At this time, I'm going to pass it over to Robin Ronkus, who's been moderating our Q&A, and she's going to lead this portion. So if there's any questions now, we are going to address them. So take it away.
Good job, everyone.
Robin.
I'm hungry after this, all these presentations. One of the first questions that was asked is for Michel, and Jennifer noticed your coolers fit perfectly in the wagon. What is the brand and who did you purchase them from?
So I actually, we purchased them from Walmart, to be honest with you. We were searching for different, providers. We were searching for different manufacturers, but we wanted something that would fit in our wagon. So we took the measurements and we did the purchase with them.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. Another question was asked in the Q&A, and it was actually answered during the presentation. So if any of you want to go into the Q&A and look at how you can help promote CalWorks and CalFresh benefits in your district, the information is there. Also for Brendan, someone commented that they love your scratch cooking, great talk. Do you use or have you tried whole grain noodles?
Yes, the noodles that we're using right now for all of our pastas are the whole grain rich macaroni, and then we also use rotini for our beef bolognese pasta.
Yummy. Thank you. And then also there was a question in regards to AB 402, and I know Daisy, you left information, a link in the chat box that was specifically targeting Megan, but maybe you can include it again, once again, in the chat box to talk about AB 402 and allowing the local educational agencies to share info with the County Welfare Department.
You got it, Robin.
Okay, great. And then let's see, I think that was it. Oh, wait a second. One of the questions was, are you currently offering the salad bar, and how do you handle the serving tools? And I'm not sure who that goes to, but maybe anybody can answer that one. Maybe that was Rialto. Or maybe even any other district. Oh, Rialto, yeah, Janet, that's Rialto.
I'm sorry, Robin, we didn't hear that.
Are you currently offering the salad bar, and how do you handle serving tools if you do?
Good question. We're not offering the salad bar as which was shown in the picture. Our salad bar items are wrapped. So everything is an individual wrapped, and we'll put serving utensils out there as we normally would, even when we have things like bananas, but we don't serve whole apples or anything that they have to actually eat the peel.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for all of those answers to the questions. I have the privilege of introducing our fantabulous, which is probably not a word, but there's no words to describe our speaking of success expert and industry coach, Matt Upton. He is the CEO or Chief of Encouragement Officer. He continues to uplift, inspire, and encourage people to uncover hidden gifts of leadership and paths to success. Today, he is presenting on turning off autopilot and serve. So, Matt, thank you, and for your willingness to serve by example.
Thank you so much, Robin, and everybody that serves at No Kid Hungry. It's just amazing, all of your leadership. Just yesterday, I was on a plane. I flew up to Northern California to work with Pittsburgh Unified School District, and I had a chance to talk to the pilot about Autopilot and about all of that. And he said something that was interesting to me that I didn't really know, and that is simply this: that most of the time when we're up in the air, it's on autopilot. And there's a couple things that we have to do when we're in autopilot. We get there because we think we're secure, or we're dealing with where we think we're going. And so I want to give us 5 things about moving from autopilot to piloting our own programs and our own endeavors. Number one, it's about positioning. We've got to know the facts of everything rather than dealing with the emotions of everything. And now emotionally, that's what comes in on us. Yet we need to deal with the facts. I loved how Brendan said that when he talked about doing scratch cooking, and the thing that we have there is we know we can get spices, we can get all those ingredients. Sometimes we can't get full products. He's dealing with the facts. Part number 2 about moving from autopilot to piloting our own ship, our own programs, everything that we're doing is investigate wins rather than always focusing on the losses or the pressures or the problems. And I know those are P words, yet we find ourselves even in discussions often just talking about the pressures and the problems, and we really need to investigate solutions more than everything else if we're going to move from autopilot to piloting and turn that autopilot off and actually go someplace. Now, if you hear anything that I'm going to say, point number 3, I think, is probably the biggest and the most important. And that is simply to liberate yourself and your team from thinking perfection is the goal. Perfection does not happen. There is no such thing as perfection in our world, in our lives. Everything is imperfect. It's imperfect. It doesn't come with perfection. So liberate yourself from the goal of perfection, because if your goal is perfection, you'll be frustrated all the time. So liberate yourself from that. Number four, opt for the things that you can control and move away from everything else. Listen to me. These last 2 years, it feels like it's been 10. These last 2 years, it feels like it's been 10. So many of us are frustrated, we're exhausted, we're tired. And part of the reason is because we're trying to control the uncontrollables. We're trying to control the uncontrollables. So move away from that. Only control what you know you can. And let me give you 2 things that you can control, that I can control all the time. Number 1, I can control my actions and I can control my attitudes, which means number 3, I can control my responses. Okay. Number five, if I'm going to move from autopilot to piloting my own ship, not only must I know my position, I must investigate wins and successes, liberate myself and my team from the goal of perfection, and then opt in on what I can control rather than all that I cannot control. And then number 5, talk up where I want to go. Talk it up. Spend time talking up every place that you want to go, and then focus in on that. And you're going to find you're going to get to your location, just like I did yesterday when I got on that plane and I went to Sacramento. I got the car. I drove to Pittsburgh. I came back. I got on a plane and I came back to Ontario, California, and got in my truck and drove to Redlands because I wasn't on autopilot. I was piloting my ship, piloting my direction. Every one of us have a charge in front of us, and that's to serve our students, even in the midst of all this. Thank you so much for once again allowing me to be part of this. You can reach me anytime at 916-708-8103. Call me, text me, let's chat. All right, thanks.
Thank you so much, Matt, for your words of encouragement and your inspiration you always give us at the end of our webinars. We very much appreciate it. And we're grateful to all of our speakers and presenters for helping us today. I'm going to pass it to Betty Crocker, our Dr. B, to close us out today. So take it away, Betty.
Well, hello, Robin. Thank you again for bringing us all together. Wow. What a powerhouse. You know, I was just reflecting back on what brought us together today. And we hoped to deliver to you new ways to refresh and enhance your service. And I hope that we hit the mark for you. I hope we inspired 1, 2, or maybe even 200 of you. I just want to leave you with just a couple of things. First of all, gratitude out to Adliet, Michel, Christina, Fasat, and Brendan, and No Kid Hungry, and all the CNAP coordinators. Thank you so much. You know, what really stuck out to me was when Brendan said, you are not alone. I came from retail as well. And there's one thing about the school nutrition industry and our partners is we never travel alone. Christina from Rialto encouraging us to build that emotional connection. I would encourage us to build that emotional connection all around us with our faculty, families, staff, everything in our life right now. And then, of course, I loved Matt's little take on invest in progress. Invest in progress. We got a lot of stuff going on here. We got a lot of stuff. Look at that human in the mirror and thank that human in the mirror for making our kiddos the priority. That's why we sit in these seats, so that we can make a difference for our kiddos. And I like to leave you with a little bit of Janet Jackson. I wish I could sing for you. I'm just going to read it for you. We are a generation full of courage. No struggle, no progress. That's right. No struggle, no progress. Let's work together. Universal free meals are a permanent feature in the beautiful state of California. We will rock the ship and we will learn to pilot this beautiful opportunity. I hope to see you in Sacramento. Get up on those websites and join me with our policymakers in encouraging them to support school nutrition. Thank you, everybody. Go have a great day.